National anthems of both Cameroon and Madagascar have been sung. The players will now enter midcourt to shake hands, pay each other respect and homage, as it's going to be an exciting matchup here in Group B between Cameroon and Madagascar. Well, now indeed it's time to introduce three very important people for tonight's game, and those are our three referees. Our referees have done a magnificent job in all of our games, and they'll continue to do so in this big matchup here in the FIBA AfroBasket. Well, there indeed, you can see our three referees. We have Hassan Kamate, Roberto Fernandez, and of course Ruben Wolcock. Our commissioner and technical delegate for tonight's game is Mr. Antonio Ferrantino Sofrimento Manuel. So big shout out and thank you to all of our FIBA officials. Well, Coach, we'll maybe start with Madagascar for the started lineups, and I would imagine Mamadi is going to have to be in the backcourt, but we can see this young man did a magnificent job playing, which I felt not necessarily a backup guard, but definitely an influential combo scorer for this Madagascar's backcourt.
Well, you know, so many young players on this roster getting their first experience here at AfroBasket, but Mamadi, such a dynamic scorer with the ball in his hands. They need to get out in transition as much as possible, be able to find him in transition, and you can see them starting out with Lova and Citraka together. I think that's definitely their strongest lineup. The struggles came when one of those guys came off the floor, so they're going to need to figure out how to keep them on the court as long as possible to have a chance here tonight.
Very interesting decision there by Jean Douaglin, the head coach of Madagascar. You saw Hassina, who only came in the game in the final minutes against Nigeria. But that is going to be an interesting change, to say the least. This will be the fourth FIBA AfroBasket Madagascar have qualified. The last one was back in 2011. Well, we talk about Cameroon, definitely one of the most competitive teams in the history of the AfroBasket. The only time they've made the medal round was back in 2007 when Richard Mbamut, along with the likes of Gaston Asonga, the father of new NBA drafted player Noah Asonga from France, made it, and losing here in Angola to the host. But tonight, Coach Alfred Aboya started lineup. Paul Aboya will be in the backcourt along with Samir Gebekam. But Jordan Baye, who was key from the perimeter, and no doubt, new Jadia Dijon player Williams Naras will be one of their go-to players. But who could forget Jeremiah Hill? An amazing season he had playing in France with Valence Chalon.
Yeah, so Cameroon going a little bit smaller, probably trying to match up with the transition game here from Madagascar.
Well, there's head coach Alfred Aboya. Started his career as a player back in 2006 with Antibes Sharks, and then went to Japan to play for Utsunomiya Brex. Played for three different teams in the Japanese B-League, the Hitachi Sun Rockets as well as the Shiga Lakes. But, you know, he is by far one of the greatest players in the history of Cameroonian basketball.
Yeah, he really is. He's done an outstanding job leading this group so far.
Listen, you know what we have defensively? Nothing for them in transition. All right? We're in half court, no penetration. Just stay in front of the ball and we rebound, we push. All right? Now, and then on offense, we push, spacing, poise, trust each other. First play, Paul play, aside with you, pay attention. All right? Jeremiah here with the ball, we go horn chase. You will dribble here. Now that's we sprint, and you're going to push Samir right here at 45. All right? And Jordan, you work to get a catch. Pass it to Jordan. Jordan, when you get a catch, face the rim. Face the rim. Now Samir will cut. All right? And as that happening, Paul, you go set a pick, and Jordan, you DHO. Jeremiah is coming and getting the ball from you. Paul, you go for the lob. Jordan, you pop.
So I'll go back same side, right?
No, so you'll be right here. So Naras will be here, exit screen for you. So we have you in the corner, we have a lob, but we're going for the lob first.
Okay.
And after that, we go on Naras on floor. Yeah, floor step. We want to get Naras coming here.
All right, fellas. Let's go. Start us off right.
Come here.
Dole. Thank you.
So, Jay, this is what I want us to do now.
Well, listening to those words from Alfred Aboya to his players, I mean, you know, what do you think is going to be the overall offensive approach to this game, Coach?
Well, you heard a lot of it there. So first play looking for a bois and a lob, but in general, they just want to be solid defensively, look to rebound and try to counterattack. They know Madagascar is really going to turn this to an up and down game. Sometimes that puts them out of position with their transition defense, and certainly Cameroon's depth should play a factor here tonight.
Well, Alfred Aboya has got his team off to a great start. Kiati with Madagascar. He will be in the backcourt with Mamadi and Lovasoa. The fans with Sitraka. Aboya's going to jump this one with the big fella, Sitraka from Madagascar. Welcome, everybody. The 31st edition of this magnificent tournament, the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Cameroon getting first play. Well, they want to run things definitely through Jeremiah Hill, but Baye can shoot the three-pointer. Hill going for an early three. That one's up. No good. Only to Naras, and the man who had 20 points, easily getting his first two tonight.
A lucky bounce there for Naras. Right place, right time, able to clean that up. Not the execution they wanted on that first play, but still able to get 2 points.
Well, Mamadi's had his struggles from the perimeter. This is the part of his game we mentioned, and you said specifically, Coach, he's a great all-around offensive player, but shooting is becoming his Achilles heel.
Well, it's always been a struggle for him. Really dynamic with the ball in the open court, so athletic, but consistently shooting the ball, it's been an issue so far in his young career.
Quebecum getting fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line. Simon Quebecum did have 6 points, 5 assists in that last game against the opening victory against Tunisia. The foul was on Hasina. This is interesting because going back to what we talked about with Hasina in the pregame, wondering why he's come into the starting lineup having only played, I think it was 2 minutes, maybe even less than that in the last game in the opening defeat they had against Nigeria.
Well, you know, Coach trying to mix it up a little bit, maybe a little bit more shooting on the floor, starting with the double bigs. We'll have to see how things play out.
Simon Quebecum making the second free throw. This could be going into his third season playing with Antibes Sharks in the second division of French basketball. As mentioned, that's where his coach started his career in France. Hasina, well, there's the three-point shooting. Not going to go. Boy, coming out with a rebound, and now Cameroon trying to build another lead. Good hands by Hasina. That goes out of bounds. He's quite a versatile player because although he is a perimeter play on the offensive end, he can match up with bigger players inside the paint.
Well, he's done well there. Naras, such a handful down low, but able to poke the ball away there.
Baye finding Jeremiah Hill. Here we go. Look out. My goodness gracious. The help side defense nowhere to be seen, Coach.
Well, a little bit of a gamble there, and then nobody on the weak side to pick that up. You know, these young players here, a little bit of a mental breakdown defensively.
Kiati going for a quick three. Hand his face. Lovasoa battling for offensive boards, and Hasina, well, maybe not a bad change putting him in the starting lineup after all.
Well, another young player here for this Madagascar team, so just 22 years old. We've got 3 guys under the age of 22 in the starting lineup.
Well, that's good defense by Sitraka, but simply better offense by Baye. Unstoppable in the paint. Well, here's where Mamadi, that is something Cameroon's got to be wary of because they know he's not a great perimeter shooter, but Coach, he can get to the rack.
Well, you know, I think if you're Cameroon, you're probably looking to go under as many of these screens as possible. And Mamadi able to find a driving lane there, get all the way to the rim.
Well, here's a look at the dip. And again, Lovasoa, only 21 years of age, but, you know, if he overhelps, someone's going to be wide open. But what do you do in that scenario?
Well, if you're on the weak side, probably a little hesitant to try to go up there and soar with Baye at the rim.
Lovasoa with a rebound. Mamadi finds Sitraka. He was the leading scorer against Nigeria. Mamadi pump fakes, pulls up for 15. And that will do his confidence a world of good.
Well, he's a streaky scorer. If he sees a couple go in, he can definitely rattle off a bunch of points.
Trying to get down to 1 point. Remember, no Eve Missy tonight, so these Cameroonian players, they're going to have to dig deep together. Baye going for a post-up. Step through, nice footwork, but that's way off the mark. Nobody going in for an offensive rebound. Well, Mamadi going straight to the bucket, and well, if he knows that's his bread and butter, he must keep going to it.
Well, he's so good in the open court. You can see when he's got space and transition, so tough to keep out of the paint.
Well, he'll try to go to another dish off to Baye, but that time being fouled in the process. Now, I don't know if that's on Mamadi or if that's on Lovasoa. Well, here's the look at the mid-range. has got to be able to knock those down consistency, because here is probably where he's going to be the best on the floor at.
Well, Madi's so good at getting to the rim. 24 points per game in the Under-19 World Cup. So he can score with the best of them.
Excellent backdoor play by Jeremiah Hill. Citraka just a little too late, so that's going to be a goaltending violation. Cameroon just retaking the lead here against Madagascar. Rush on the ball screen. Citraka finds Lovasoa, goes in, and both teams exchanging field goals here in the first quarter.
That's a really nice job there. You see Cameroon trapping Kiati in the pick and roll. He's able to handle that, find the big on the roll there. Nice play.
Kiati denying Jeremiah Hill. They don't want the ball in his hands. So now Quebec is going to have to work the ball screen with Bae Naras. Finds an opening. Little fingertip. Good defense by Lovasoa. Madagascar lead by 1. Cameroon having to switch on the ball screen, now recovering. Mamadi, another pump fake. Made one earlier. Just can't get this one. That goes over the backboard. That's going to be an out-of-bounds violation.
But great start here from Madagascar. Running their offense, playing with confidence. These young players not afraid of this Cameroonian team.
Because what a monumental experience it is going to be for him, the young man, because, you know, playing at this level against the best in the FIBA AfroBasket, you got to think the sky is the limit for that young man.
Well, all these players getting valuable experience here at AfroBasket, trying to build off of the success they had, making it to the Under-19 World Championships.
Ebois unable to finish inside the paint, and already Hasina making himself a defensive nightmare here for Cameroon. So again, this change in the starting lineup, it's proven me wrong already.
Yeah, he's been great, playing with a lot of confidence, been really active on the defensive end.
Gotti trying to work here with Citraka. Citraka, nice hesitation. Kicks out. And they have to put this one up to beat the shot clock. Now it's a 2-on-1. Naras, here we go. And connects with it. The dunk may not have been finished, but that's excellent transition, led by Jeremiah Hill.
Yeah, great job of getting out and running. Madagascar a little flat there. Rija had to force that shot there at the end of the shot clock. Guy's not prepared for transition defense.
Just the lead going back and forth like a roller coaster. Hasina another 3, misses last one. That's a little too short. Let's have a subbing into the game for Cameroon. Now remember, Naras made a few threes in the last game, but an awkward shooting technique from Naras. A little bit low on the release.
Well, Naras, not necessarily known as a shooter, had a great shooting game in their first game of this tournament, but really more of a slasher. Can also cause post mismatches with his size at the 3.
It's almost like a set shot, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of a push shot there with his form.
Final seconds, Kiati does a good job of getting off in time, but still Madagascar 3-pointless. Kiati matching up with one of the best players in the French Pro Island B, Jeremiah Hill, and Hasina's going to get called for the foul.
Good job there of Hill, seeing a little lane in transition, being aggressive. He was content being a playmaker in that first game, but you see right here, really pushing tempo, the nice lob to Naras. Let's see if these guys can get out and connect and transition this game.
Well, a timeout is going to be called. These two teams will talk it over. 1-point lead to Cameroon. Let's head down to the Madagascar bench to hear what they have to say.
On joue très bien. On joue très bien. Défensivement, on est bien en place. Il faut qu'on assure bien les rebonds, d'accord? Si à un moment donné, sur le jeu rapide, on est un peu désorganisé, on se parle, on prend le ballon, on reprend le joueur qu'on doit prendre. Parfait, on est complètement dans le jeu. Par contre, si on n'a pas le jeu rapide, on prend son temps. On se met en place. Une fois qu'on est en place, par contre, vite, d'accord? Il ne faut pas à un moment donné, on peut ralentir le jeu au départ pour se repositionner, parce qu'ils sont tous revenus. Et une fois qu'on enclenche les mouvements, il faut que ça aille vite. D'accord? Par contre, vous avez vu qu'à un moment donné, ça change. Donc, il faut qu'on prenne des responsabilités sur les situations de drive. Ok, les garçons? Allez, go, 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 go.
Well, I think you'll be relatively pleased with their response from the early few possessions from Madagascar, but Cameroon, I'm almost very certain Alfred Aboya, regardless whether they have Yves Missy or not in this game, I think he knows this is definitely not going to be a walk in the park, but because that 11 out of 29 from the three-point line really set the standard here at the beginning of the FIBA AfroBasket by Baye. Well, can definitely make things happen inside the paint, coach.
Well, Baye really stepping in for that void with Yves Missy out here. Off to a good start.
Nadas trying to work against Lovasoa. Kicking out to Ateba. He'll fire a three, and that's just not going to go. But look at the hustle here. Cameroon having a second chance. And now he'll fire for three. It's up. Oh, that's a good look. It just rattles its way in and out. Ateba just getting called for the foul. And coach, one thing I definitely love about Madagascar, they like to run in transition whenever possible.
Well, that's their style. You know, I think that's really important as a national team to identify where your strengths could lie. They know they're going to be undersized in most of these games. They try to, you know, make up for that by playing up tempo, letting these guards get downhill, playing a lot of drive and kick.
We'll change in for Madagascar as number 21, Austin Rassolon Jatovo, subbing into the game for the first time. Ellie as well, also for the first time tonight for Madagascar. So you see Kiadi and Mamadi taking a breather. Like to see that from Madagascar, giving a little bit of a break for their best players in the backcourt.
Well, they're going to have to sneak these minutes where they can. Mamadi with a good start to the game. I'm expecting to see him out for too long.
See Traka pick and pop. The three-point is just not dropping for either of these two teams. Now with nearly 3 minutes to go. Another three goes flying. Lovasoa towering for the rebound.
Yeah, not a great decision there from Jeremiah Hill. I think forcing it a little bit there.
See Traka trying to get a post entry, but Baye just getting that denial, preventing it going to the low block. He just still has it. See Traka misses last three. That's just way off the mark.
He's got to keep shooting those. And good job of getting back.
On Nadas, down the middle, bumps. The foul has become, I mean, it's the right call, but just slightly delayed, I'd say.
Yeah, good job of Cameroon. The pass ahead, attacking in transition, and Ross such a tough cover in transition, that big body getting downhill. But you know, if you're Citraka, you got to continue to take open shots. He shot the ball really well in their first game. You know, he's a dynamic scorer for them. He's got to continue to play with confidence. Trust that those will go in during the course of the game.
Naras at the free throw line led Cameroon in that opening victory against Tunisia with 20 points. Chris also had 6 rebounds, almost a double-double, and well, it looks calm at the moment, but for sure Alfred Aboya would like to see his team extend their lead early on.
Well, you know, good job here from Madagascar, keeping it close, not necessarily shooting the ball really well, but you know, staying competitive with this young group.
Well, one thing they're going to have to do without Yves Missy, if the three-point shots aren't going to drop. Now, we did allude that they shot 37% from the three-point line in the last game. One area where I do feel Cameroon's going to have an advantage is probably second shots points. Now, given there is Lovasoa and Citraka, I'm also talking about the backcourt, coach. These Cameroonian players, I mean, they're eager for another victory. Everybody's going to be crashing the board at some point in this game.
Well, no question. I mean, Cameroon has a lot more depth, especially in that front court. And, you know, this is where they struggled in their first game. So with Citraka and Lova together, really competitive. But right now, Citraka getting his first breather of the game. Let's see how they handle these minutes.
Lovasoa does have a mid-range, unable to level things. Big rebound by Cho. Cameroon looking to extend to a 2-possession lead. Baye having a seal-off, but they don't get the ball to him. Madagascar, no fouls to give here in this final 2 minutes. Beckham, final seconds winding down. Finds a gap by A on the baseline. Well, that's going to be a foul from behind, so that's going to send Nadass to the free throw line. And those are the fouls Madagascar cannot afford to give away.
Well, you know, it's a struggle for them. They're small guards having to check players of Narasa's size. Really difficult task.
He spent 5 magnificent seasons in his early years with Slouk Nancy, then went to Le Mans for 5 years, so we'll be interested to see how he transitions with Jadia Dijon next season as he converts the second free throw. 3-point lead currently to Cameroon. Russell and Jatavo just trying to deal with the pressure. The Spanish secret's not quite fully executed. Madagascar now with 6 seconds on the shot clock. They've got to think quickly. Lovasoa comes to the screen. That's going to be a traveling, no, out of bounds. Another offense there by Madagascar.
Well, this is what we saw in that first game. When Citraka went out, they didn't have the double big combo. Things became really difficult for them. So how are they going to find offense right now?
First quarter is just going under 90 seconds. Cameroon slightly having an advantage here over Madagascar. Bailly wants to post up against the young 21-year-old. Twisting, turning, going in. And Joe trying to come from the weak side. Madagascar have numbers. And that's going to be an offensive foul and second foul against Lovasoa.
Yeah, that's a big foul there. He did so well with his post defense, and really his point guard let him down. Not much he can do with the ball in that scenario. He's running in transition, kind of set him up there. That's a big foul right now.
That is the issue Madagascar have when either Mamadi or Kiadi are off the floor. Now that spins, turns, goes in, gets rejected. Well, Lovasoa could have picked up his third. But in the end, becoming Madagascar's insurance policy.
Well, credit to him, not backing down, playing with those 2 fouls right there.
And cutting it down to 1 point. Coach, that could potentially be a 2-for-1, but they commit another foul. And this will send Quebec to the free throw line.
Yeah, they've got to be a little bit more disciplined here. Obviously, the foul discrepancy really starting to add up.
Well, that's good rim protection. He's playing, he had an injury this year, I believe, but still in junior college, and you look at his potential. You coach at the NCAA Division I level. With the talent he has, could you see him playing at that elite level of basketball?
Well, there's no question. I mean, he's had such a great performance here so far. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be watching this film and realizing just how good of a player he is.
Because he only played 8 games last season. Naras, pump fakes. This is good ball movement. But they turn it over. Only had numbers. Probably not the best shot there for Madagascar. Well, here we go. You know it's coming at some point. At some point, the connection is going to be made.
Well, you know, in this case, can be a little more disciplined. So Rija giving up so much height against Naras doesn't necessarily have to be the highlight lob. You can just be patient, just kind of throw that anywhere around the rim, and he's going to come down with it.
Well, the good thing for Madagascar, they can have the final shot here in the first quarter, trailing by 2 points. Not the worst foul to give away. It's only the second team foul against Cameroon.
Well, they've got a lot of fouls to give here. I think probably a little bit early to do it there, but if I'm Cameroon, any time one of these players starts to get downhill, for sure I'm looking to take a foul.
Getting the ball inbound, avoiding the 5-second violation, but Ellie still has it. You want to take the final shot. 1 second difference between game and shot clock. In the end, turning it over. Cameroon has time. Naras, he's got to shoot it. Oh, no, he turns it over. And no protest from Coach Aboya. He pretty much agreed with the referee on that one.
Well, the outlet pass, a little sloppy there, and Madagascar dodged the bullet. Almost a real costly turnover there right at the end of the quarter.
Well, that will do it. Cameroon, who won their opening game against Tunisia, lead by 2 points against Madagascar. a team after 14 years finally returning to the FIBA AfroBasket. But so far, with the absence of Yves Missy, you can see Madagascar causing a few problems defensively for Cameroon coach. William Nadas still leading this team with 6 points, 2 rebounds, but you can see Madagascar 0 for 8 from the perimeter coach.
Come here. So, have a seat, Jordan. All right. Guys, have a seat quickly. We know we're bigger.
Well, we'll take a look at the top highlights here from the first quarter. Cameroon so far 0 for 5 from three-point land after shooting 11 out of 29 in that game against Tunisia. Those second chance points definitely going in favor with players such as William Nadas. And here was Bae throwing it down off the little slip there coming from Jeremiah Hill. And you want to see them maybe go to those more actions, coach.
Well, yeah, you know, there've been several possessions where Cameroon a little undisciplined with their shot selection. You heard Coach Boya telling them there, hey, we know we have a size advantage. Probably wants to see them be a little more patient, see if they can exploit that more.
Matias Madi so far 6 points, but he does have 2 fouls. The same goes for Lovasoa. He picked up 2 fouls as well. So the big three, or big four, I should say, Lovasoa, Citraka. And then you can see the block from Lovasoa along with Mamadi and Kiati. They've got to stay out of foul trouble. Well, basketball fans, make sure you use that QR code and download Courtside 1891. Scan the QR code and download Courtside 1891, where you can get live streams and extended highlights of FIBA basketball, as well as the build-up and pre-games to the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket, Courtside 1891. Get it today.
We see Sini here for the first time in this game, the leading rebounder at this year's Under-19 World Championships, 15 rebounds per game. Really talented player who's with Varese in Italy in their junior program. So big minutes for him here with Missy being out this game.
As he came in the final minutes against Tunisia, hitting that free throw, and of course you could see what it meant to his teammates. Reaching going for a deep three and finally getting one. 9 attempts, and finally Madagascar are able to get something, and they take the lead for the first time.
Well, that's their style. They're going to look to try to play fast, get as many threes up as they can. Big shot from Reza there.
Joe Valentina goes in, draws a foul. Because of his length, his size, kind of gives you those, reminds you of a similar style to how Mustafa Foley currently plays.
Well, Sini definitely huge size advantage over the front court of Madagascar. It'll be interesting to see how this young player steps forward in this big moment.
Fans from Madagascar making the journey here to Angola, enjoying seeing their country make the return after 14 years to the FIBA AfroBasket. The same 5 who finished the first quarter still on the court for Madagascar. Sini unable to make the second one. Nothing separating these two teams here in the second quarter. Group B fixture, remember, Cameroon wins. Like Nigeria, they'll both be 2-0. That will make things interesting going into the final game of this group. Final seconds. Got to shoot it. Time winding down for Ellie. And after missing the first 8, they make their first 2 here in the second quarter.
Well, that's a great kick out there. It seemed like he had nowhere to go, but able to find Ellie there in the corner. Big three.
Heavy pressure coming from Marcelo Jontavo, just trying to put pressure against Quebec. Denies a screen, finds an opening, goes to his right, finishes, tough move.
That's a great take. You got to understand, though, if you're Madagascar, Beckham really primarily a driver, might want to think about cushioning him a little bit more, trying to keep him in front.
Nice give and go, but maybe one too many passes, and a foul is going to be called against Quebec. It's only going to be his first personal foul of the game. Well, that's a good call.
You can see clearly grabbed on the arm there.
Well, you got to keep shooting the ball. You may miss your first 8. That doesn't mean you're not going to make you're going to miss your next 2, and that's exactly what's going here for Madagascar.
Well, Anthony Nelson with a tremendous pass to the corner. Great vision there to find Ellie.
Well, these are the first free throws of the game for Madagascar. It's probably not something they're going to get as many as their opponents, Cameroon, this evening, but you got to make it count when you do.
Well, I mean, the other really big thing, they're doing this with their important players on the bench. So Citraka still on the bench right now. Livasoa able to get some important rest. So this is where they struggled in their first game, but great job of the bench here.
Fans from Cameroon now getting into the game. You can just hear them right behind us here in Angola. Cho has 7 on the shot clock. Sini coming up with the screen. Quebec will fire a 3 in the corner. It's a little too short. That's going to remain Cameroon ball with 2.2 left on the shot clock.
And you can see the energy right now from Madagascar. Those threes really firing them up. They got to be careful here for any kind of lob or play at the rim.
Well, they got to go quick. No time. They get the 3 off. And finally, Cameroon get their first 3-pointer.
That's great execution there on the baseline out of bounds play. Roger Mute there finding the opposite side corner, knocking down the big 3.
He may have had his foot in the line, actually, because still a 1-point lead to Madagascar. So, yeah, it was a 2-point field goal. After he fakes a pass, they'll go for another one. Try to go off the bank. City comes up with it. Cameroon looking to reclaim the lead here in the second quarter. Quebec in around the defense. And that will be 2 free throws coming up.
That's where he excels. So we saw that in that first game, really getting into the paint all game long. He's so quick with the ball in his hands in transition, especially. You see the great underneath out of bounds play, the weak side corner. I guess his foot was on the line, but it's a really nice job of executing there with the late clock.
I'm not sure I think it's Jeremiah Hill's getting ready to come back into the lineup here for Cameroon, so a change indeed is on its way. We're also coming in, so Quebec, as mentioned, currently playing for Antibes, but had his taste of Pro A basketball, which is the highest level of professional basketball in France, with ASM Le Portel when he was a youngster. Also played in the FIBA Europe Cup back in 2017-18. Just getting the second free throw to go. Provisional substitution. Jeremiah Hill will come in for Quebec. Full court pressure coming from Mute. Madi also back in for Madagascar. Citraka catching a lob. Pump fakes, goes in. Still can't finish. Good defense by Mute.
He's got to turn to that right hand. I know his dominant left hand where he wants to finish, but in that case, Mute clearly shading him to that. He's got to just put it in with the right, so close to the basket.
Well, that would usually be his bread and butter, especially in the game against Nigeria, the performance he had. He did get quite a few of his points early in the game and later in the game, but Citraka did finish with 20 points and 4 rebounds. But, you know, Coach, if they ought to win this, they need him to be as best as he can be tonight.
Well, I mean, they've got to feel really good about where they are. I mean, their stars, Madi had a nice little start, but really for the most part, pretty quiet so far in this game. And here they are. I guess now down 2 points, but still hanging tough for Cameroon.
Probably in the table, just flashing across, catching him. It's a tough fadeaway, but Citraka just wasn't quite aware of where he was. Going out for an aggressive show. Johnny finds a bit of space in the paint, and that's where he was good in the game against Nigeria, the mid-range off the dribble.
That's a really nice job there, letting Ebwe make the aggressive show before then looking to attack.
Mute goes in. He'll get the and-one, and he's going to the free throw line. I like him a lot. He is just Mr. Reliable for Cameroon.
Well, he's given them really good minutes here off the bench. Great cut here. Nice find as well, but also defensively really active on the other end of the floor.
Well, chance to extend the lead for Cameroon. It's been a very good tempo so far between these two countries. Madagascar just trying to bring a little bit more size in. So Lovasoa, the young 21-year-old, checking back in. Mamadi's got 6 points. Got it by Mute. Kiati finds the track and goes in, throws it down with one hand, and it's just that simple with the big fella.
Well, that's a great pass from Kiati. Really doing a nice job against the aggressive shows here from Cameroon.
Oh, good hands by Mamadi. Mute keeps it alive. Now we're in the 10, goes base. Are you kidding me? Well, bon nuit, good night, s'il vous plaît. Incredible. Wow. Well, coach, we just witnessed greatness at the FIBA AfroBasket, and I've got to see a replay of that again. I mean, Cho or Cho time?
Well, I was going to say, Tim Manang Show, putting on a show.
Well, there's the first dunk by Sitraka. And here it is. This is good hands by Mamade. Mute came up with it. And this is simply Showtime baseline. Allez, Cameroon. Incroyable. Nice three by Kiati. Third one of the second quarter for Madagascar.
Yeah, Kiati's playing great. Really comfortable in these pick and roll situations. Doing a nice job.
Well, Mute's made 1 3. Jeremiah Hill running for the offensive board. And Showtime. Oh, Cho got bunnies.
Well, Cho can definitely get up there. Probably had a chance to dunk that one as well, but nice find from Hill.
Well, another three-pointer, make it number 4. The foul is going to be called against Cameroon. So Madagascar's getting it back, I think.
Well, Kiati really heating up here. He's been tremendous in pick and roll, and you get the push in the back as well, so a chance to add to these points.
Well, a timeout is going to be called by Alfred Aboy of Cameroon. I think he wants to talk this one over. 5:12 to go here in the second quarter. Coach, it's Cho time. It's anything. It is Madagascar time. We got a ball game.
Well, this has been a really fun game to watch so far. Both teams with some highlight plays, but you know, both teams really clicking offensively. Right now, you see Kiati doing his thing in pick and roll.
Our defense is terrible right now. We pride ourselves on defense. Pride ourselves on defense. Huh? Everybody has to be back below the ball. Build a wall, then we can start fanning out. And trust. If somebody says switch, switch. And on the back end, the next big guy has to switch to the next guy. We was excellent. We have to go back to that. Huh? Offensively, continue to go away. All right? Curl. It's coming now. It's 20-77. The next guy pop. And
well, Kiati, as mentioned, playing his pro basketball in Switzerland, finding that confidence. They were 0 out of 8 in the first quarter, and so far they've made 4 3-point field goals. That is how a game can change in just, well, less than 5 minutes.
No question there. I mean, you see Show with the power dunk, but it's really been Kiati and his pick and roll play that's given Madagascar the lead.
Well, Kiati, as mentioned, Swiss Madagascar. It goes out of bounds. Jeremiah Hill trying to put his hands in the passing lanes. 11 seconds here on the shot clock. Plenty of time for Madagascar. They have the 1-point lead. Mamadi splits the defense. Dribbles into traffic and unfortunately turns it over, so Cameroon will get it back.
Well, that's the youth on display, really kind of forcing something that wasn't there. He's got to be able to kick it out when he sees bodies in front of him.
Hill got it by Lovasoa. Oh, step back, hand his face, go for a 3. Cameroon just not having the same success on the perimeter as they did against Tunisia. Mute attacks, goes in. The foul is going to be called now. Is that on Hasina or is that on Lovasoa?
Well, obviously a big call right here. I think that might be on Lovasoa. If it is, that's his 3rd foul.
My correction, so one of those fouls earlier actually wasn't against him. That's my fault, of course. I think that's going to be his 2nd personal. that's number 2. I called it too early. So my apologies, Coach.
Well, it's interesting. They've got 3 in the.
Oh, they do have 3. Okay.
Yeah, they have 3
Oh,
listed.
so I don't need to apologize.
Well, let's see. I mean, he's staying on the floor right now, so.
Well, all level here at 30 apiece. See Chalk inside the paint. Lovasoa battling for the offensive board. Cameroon can reclaim the lead. Cameroonian fans definitely loving the occasion here. Hill kicks out. Cameroon going for another 3, and that will just calm down the nerves. As Eboué just nailing that one from downtown. Look at them, Coach. They are loving life here at the AfroBasket.
They are. Eboué, big corner 3. Thought it was an ill-advised shot, but he knocked it down.
Well, free throws coming up for Kiati. This is good for Madagascar because that's going to be the 4th and final team foul. So neither team with any fouls to give. Number 2 against Eboué. There's the kick out. Eboué for the 3. Only the second one of the game.
Cameroon unable to continue the hot shooting they displayed in the first game. Gonna have to find their points in different areas.
So I watched Kiati's game. I like his aggressive, very quick tempo, able to keep things under control. The only player I can compare him to in the international world is in the FIBA America Cup. Mexico's point guard, Paul Stoll.
Well, that's good company to share. He's been great here, really dynamic player. And see, signaling for 2. I was going to say, it looked like that was tipped in. So we're all tied up here.
All 33 apiece. A goaltending violation. So just unable to read the ball at the summit in time.
Well, that's the 3rd time Cameroon has been able to face cut the defender and find layups. So if you're Madagascar, you got to make these guys cut behind you, not give up easy catches in the paint for layups.
Well, it's been a great game so far. These two teams could go right down to the wire. Mamadi's got 6 points. Can't get this one. Hasina tries to battle. Bae comes up, and Kiati battles again. Well, here we go. Well, Lovasoa's got to finish. And the time coming from Mamadi.
Well, great read from Kiati on stealing that outlet pass.
Neither team can afford another foul. Hasina, big rebound. 3-on-3 here in transition. Kiati's made 2 threes, a third one. Well, Kiati's wide open. Mamadi is going to have his moment here. Got it by Mute. Sitraka wants a post-up. Hasina. Lovasoa with a follow-up goes in, and he finishes with second chance points.
That's a great offensive rebound from Lovasoa. He's been so active in this tournament so far. This young player not afraid of the moment.
So Madagascar only had 2 second chance points in the first quarter. A foul's going to be called on the ground, so we will see Cameroon go back to the free throw line. Both teams at the end of the first quarter had 10 points each inside the paint. It's been the perimeter that's been a big difference because Madagascar's been much better than Cameroon.
Well, Madagascar getting hot here of late. Really started with Kiati and his dynamic pick and roll play. You can see his teammates feeding off of that energy. And if you're Madagascar, you got to feel great about this situation. Up 2 against a very strong Cameroonian team.
Well, we mentioned Bae in the last game. Of course, going back for another season in the Italian Serie A, La J.A. with Trentino. Because he started with Stella Azzurra in Roma, one of the infamous academies in Italian basketball. He's also spent some time playing in the FIBA Europe Cup with Happy Casa-Brindisi back in 22-23. So has that continental experience to go here with his play at the AfroBasket. Still nothing separates Madagascar and Cameroon here in the second quarter. Sitraka battling. Kiati's got one thing on his mind. And a nice little pull-up. Too strong off the backboard. Well, the Cameroonian fans loving every time Jeremiah Hill has the ball. Another foul's going to be called, so I think it's on Sitraka, which would send Bae to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's a bad foul. He's reaching out, grabbing the roll man. Pretty obvious call there, and that's his third foul. He's got to be more disciplined. Really can't afford for him to be in foul trouble.
Now with that, well, they were going to bring Ellie into the game, but I think they're going to bring Anthony in. So because of Ellie, the lineup would be a lot smaller, given that Williams Nadas is on the floor at the moment here for Cameroon. So last season, he was a 64% free throw shooter when he did play in Italy. So anytime he can go to the charity stripe and make them count, it's a huge plus here for Cameroon. And again, Madagascar failing to take care of it. Ateba will take a three. By 8. Another rebound, another foul, another trip to the charity stripe.
Well, that's the youth on display. Madi's trying to get him to throw over the top of the defense, but he's really got to be able to show to the ball, make it easier for Lovasoa there.
Foul is on Livio. So if you take away the amount of times Cameroon's gone to the free throw line, they've now taken 20 free throws here in the first half. But coach, they've only converted, or missed. They've actually missed 7 of those. So it's kind of a 2-case scenario. If they don't go to the free throw line much more, Madagascar would probably have a double-digit lead, whereas if they converted all their free throws, they probably would have a double-digit lead.
Well, there's a huge free throw discrepancy, and that's the size and athleticism of Cameroon on display.
2-possession ball game. Remember, Madagascar led by 3 at one point. A little too static here in the offense with time winding down. Livio's got to make something happen. Tries to go for a Euro step, and that's going to be a 24-second violation shortly.
Yeah, nice defensive possession there from Cameroon. Great verticality there, and making sure not to come down with a needless foul.
90 seconds to go here in the first half. Cameroon looking to extend their lead. And now here on the shot clock. Hill finds a gap, little teardrop. Sweet move by Jeremiah Hill.
Yeah, great take there from Hill. And if you're Madagascar, you've got to be disciplined here over the last minute. You've done so well in this game. Obviously, Sitraka getting that third foul, big moment, but got to stay composed, make sure you're getting good shots.
Well, Kiadi now kicking out to Mamadi. Just can't get the three. Potential 2 for 1, maybe here for Cameroon, depending how quickly they go. Ateba misses last 3. Just can't get it. Now that's battles. Now Hill, time, space, 3. Buries it, and he looks at the Cameroonian fans.
That's a big 3 there from Hill, and this is what you fear if you're Madagascar. You've done so well throughout this game. Sitraka picks up that third foul, and now Cameroon going on a run here to close out the half.
Well, Jeremiah Hill was 35% from the three-point line last season when he played in Pro A in France. It's one player, but look at this move here. Patiently just avoiding, or making space and avoiding the block from Lovasoa. But as I said for Alain Chalon, 35% from downtown.
Well, he's a dynamic scorer, one of the leading scorers in all of Pro A France. And you can see it on display there. 5 big points here at the end of the first half.
Lovasoa, even though he only played 6 games, improved his free throw shooting percentage from his freshman to sophomore year in JUCO. And now Madagascar can't have the final shot, trailing by 8 points. I think there should have actually been 14. Well, I'm not quite sure, actually.
That's close. Maybe he wants 12 put up there. Saw that there's a slight difference between game clock and shot clock.
just waiting to find out what's on the shot clock. The officials just patiently awaiting here. It's been a good first half, but in the last few minutes, Cameroon's defense definitely has turned up the tempo. Second game for these two teams here in Group E. We already saw Nigeria remain undefeated with a very big win led by Josh Okogie. With 33 points, next season will be going to play for the Houston Rockets. While Tunisia remaining winless. Remember, Tunisia's final game will be against Madagascar. It's quite a connection here with Jeremiah Hill and the Cameroonian fans, Coach.
Well, he true entertainer. Seems like he knows how to get this crowd going. We saw it in the first game as well, him looking up, pointing to the crowd after big plays.
The officials, as mentioned, just trying to put the right time on the shot clock. And that's what you got to love. You got to love international basketball. Fans all over the continent making the journey here to the 31st edition of the AfroBasket. This is not a short journey from Cameroon here to Luanda, Angola.
Well, this is going to give an opportunity for Coach Douaglan to draw up potentially this last shot. So while they get this shot clock issue sorted out.
Well, so far in this game for Cameroon, they are being led by Jordan Bae. He does have 10 points. Williams Nadas started off with 6 points. Mute also chipped in, but it's only been 2 out of 13 from the Cameroonians from the perimeter. So 15 seconds in the game, 14 on the shot clock, 1 second difference. Madagascar, on the other hand, being led by Kiadi with 11. Sitraka only 2 points, but had to go to the bench due to picking up his 3rd foul. So it's going to be a big test for Madagascar in the second half. Actually, it's going to be 5 seconds difference by the looks of it.
It seems like that's a lot. I feel, yeah.
Well, now it's changed again.
Well, I think they're struggling to sync up whatever it was on the game clock with the shot clock. And he wouldn't have stopped play unless the shot clock was less than the game clock. So I think that's the issue. I think the scorer's table felt that it was more, which is why they turned off the shot clock, and the official seeing that, that's why he stopped the game. So the difference between that, I'm not quite sure. I don't think it was that much.
Well, here we go. 3 seconds difference to be exact. 13 in the game, 10 on the shot clock. Kiadi will inbound. He goes for a quick one. Got to make this, surely. And now Cameroon, bit of time. Hill wants to go to the length of the floor. Hill goes coast to coast, avoids the block. Tip in by Bae, but it goes out. And still Cameroon lead by 8 points in their second game here in the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. They could have made it a 10-point lead, but they have the momentum. I think Jeremiah Hill is probably saying to the officials that, I think I did see it, Coach. There was a bit of contact from behind where he may have been clipped in transition, but they allowed play to continue.
Well, it seemed like there were two times there. It might have been clipped on the heel as he was dribbling. Then I think he felt he was hit on the arm on the finish. But they're really lucky, taking the early shot there instead of milking the clock, giving Cameroon an opportunity with the transition. Not really a great final 2 minutes to an otherwise outstanding first half for Madagascar.
The only stat Madagascar leads over Cameroon's been the three-point shooting. 0 out of 8 in the first quarter, but then 4 out of 7 in the second. As there you can see Kiadi leading all scorers with 11. Well, now fans, we are going to take a look at the highlights here from the first half between Cameroon and Madagascar, live here at the FIBA AfroBasket. Well, Cameroon got off to a better start, but here is where it began in the second quarter. Regis' first three-pointer, then it almost became contagious with Madagascar's players. They all started firing. Remember, they hit 4 out of 7 in the second quarter, and they actually took a lead by 3 points, Coach.
Well, big three there from Regis, and then Kiadi really starting to get going as well.
Well, here was Ellie in the corner. That was the second one made. As you mentioned, Kiadi erupted. That was a nice kick out. That time by Anthony, just finding Ellie in the corner.
Yeah, really nice pass there from Anthony Nelson, able to find Ellie in the corner.
Well, here is where this wasn't a three-point. This was a foot on the line by Mute. Now remember, he also has 6 points. Played, as you mentioned, played some very good minutes in that second quarter for Cameroon.
Yeah, he was outstanding in that second quarter, and that was a big moment there. Late shot clock, good execution from Cameroon.
Well, the worrying thing for Madagascar, Sitraka picked up his 3rd personal foul. So he's got to play the entire 3rd quarter without picking up that 4th one. There was Kiadi. Right now leading them. Here's where Cameroon caused problems. They got the ball inside the paint. They got into the penalty early. And coach, as we saw in the first half from Cameroon, it just became a free throw show. 14 out of 21. Now for their standards, they'd like to minimize the misses, but 21 free throws, that's too many for Madagascar to give away.
No.
Well, basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say absolutely way too many. They're going to have to figure out how to clean that up.
Well, fans, it is halftime. 8-point lead to Cameroon, and we will return in just over 12 minutes. The FIBA AfroBasket live here in Luanda, Angola.
We are in for a showdown here tonight.
Let's get this party started.
Oh my goodness sakes, that's a throwdown.
Goes in for the dunk.
Good night. Too big, too strong, and just too good.
Bogdanovic, who goes in and scores. Ah!
This is what it's all about.
It's all one big basketball family, folks. He is a magician. Winning time. Both teams over the limit. You have got to be kidding me!
Inside they go, cleared out. Badrouche shot falls in. Asim Badrouche extracts 3 under immense pressure, able to knock in that 3 ball. Salvez drops off to Kokila. Drame says no. Getting behind. The whole team, another turnover. Ahead it goes. Miguel to D'Souza. Ducks it home.
Kanute going behind the back. Out of control. Kamagu comes up with a rebound. Now the young 18-year-old fighting dead, good hands. And you got to get him first 2 points.
Yeah, great start to the game there.
Togo look at that post entry. They knew they were coming from the weak side. Well, is that going to be a rebound or an assist for Togo?
By Day. Whoa, wow. That is met up top and taken away. Diakite's pass is tipped by Dundao. Into free flow. Drop ball. Valente drops in the dunk.
Oh, way to start as the fans are on their seat.
Who can step up? There's a backdoor play. Hangs in another block. Well, coach has become the Mali block party at the moment.
Well, their defense has been impressive. Nothing going for Uganda right now.
Kanute has made 1 3, and he'll sink another one. That piles further misery against Uganda. Now officially a 14-point lead. Something about this Mali team that really, catches the eye.
Boom, driving the layup. Well, 3 defenders around, and now it is Fernando to Dundao. Pass back! Second in by Bruno Fernando.
Just a great ball movement from Angola and the bang out dunk.
Here comes Shusha. Good hands by Boissy. Senegal come up with it.
Here's a pass, look out, and wow, wow, baby! Wow, wow, baby! And he's going to the free throw line for the three-point play.
Oh my goodness, what a finish there.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Welcome back, basketball fans. We're live here in Luanda, Angola for the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Halftime currently between Madagascar and Cameroon here in Group B. Cameroon currently having an 8-point lead, but we'll look at the top scorers from this game. And Kiadi currently playing his pro basketball in Switzerland, 11 points, 2 out of 4 from within inside the rainbow, and 2 huge three-pointers in the second quarter. Josh Bett alongside FIBA AfroBasket champion in 2015 with Team Nigeria, Coach Will Voigt. Will, he's got to make sure that he keeps delivering, because at the moment, Sitraka's on 3 fouls on the bench. They need this from the backcourt.
Well, he was dynamic there in the second quarter. Really great in their pick and roll, finding both the roll man and knocking down big threes as well, as you see there. They're going to need more of that from him here in the second half.
Well, of course, some good performances as well from Mamadi, but they really, as mentioned, as much as they can get from the backcourt, that will, try to relieve the pressure off both Lovaso and Sitraka. But, Sitraka, as mentioned, having to go to the bench, picking up those 3 fouls. He had 20 points in that opening defeat against Nigeria. But Baye tonight having to step up big time due to the absence of Yves Missy. It's starting things with a bang here in Angola.
Well, Baye getting the opportunity with Missy out of the lineup and really taking advantage of it, especially in that first quarter. Great start to the game for him.
Well, he does indeed lead Cameroon this evening. 10 points, 5 rebounds away from a potential double-double. As mentioned, Cameroon were 11 out of 29 from the three-point line in their opening victory against Tunisia. So far, it hasn't been the same. Only 2 out of 13. But if they keep moving the ball effectively, getting those high percentage looks, that could change here in the second half. Well, it was an exciting game, Coach. Throughout the end of the first quarter and the midway to the second quarter, both teams going right back and forth at each other. But Madagascar just picked up way too many fouls. They picked up fouls like parking tickets.
Yeah, it was definitely an issue. It's going to be tough to beat Cameroon if they get 21 free throw attempts in a half. So it's definitely an area they're going to have to clean up. Obviously, they give up a ton of size, but just need to be a little more disciplined in how they're defending.
Well, some of the other players in Madagascar, like we said, Ellie having 7 points. He's made 1 3-pointer. He's made 2 free throws. They only shot 6 collectively in the first half, but it was this man, Rija, hitting that first 3-pointer. They were 0 out of 8 in the first quarter and then went 4 out of 7. And as I said at the end of the first half, it almost became contagious for them.
Well, their guards really stepping up. Sitraka, who was the big scorer for them previously, not having a great game so far, just 1 for 6 from the floor. But you see Kiadi here, some big minutes from him. But they can bring Sitraka back into the mix offensively. They've got to feel good about where they are in this game right now.
Well, we just saw Yves Missy walk right by our commentary table. As mentioned, Missy, the star player for Cameroon, currently playing in the NBA with the New Orleans Pelicans. But going back to Madagascar, well, they are down by 8, and they're going to have to dig deep, and they cannot afford to pick up any more fouls. Well, for Cameroon, there were a lot of expectations for them coming into this second game after the tremendous performance against Tunisia. Tunisia today going 0-2 with another defeat against Nigeria, who were led by Josh Okogie, But this Group B, well, it could be interesting. If Cameroon win, it will be the 2 undefeated teams that meet on the final game day of this group. And if Madagascar are to lose, well, like Tunisia, the winner of that game would ensure half the play-in game or round of 16 to compete for the quarterfinals.
Well, it's definitely setting the stage for a really interesting final day of the group. So obviously both games would have a ton of significance if that were the case.
Well, Mute played some very good minutes, monumental moments on the floor for Cameroon when they were really struggling offensively. Cameroon so far this evening, as mentioned, 20 points inside the paint. Only 5 points from turnovers, but 13 second chance points. I mean, we would expect that with a team like them, regardless whether they have Yves Missy or not.
Well, they do. They have a huge advantage with their front court depth. You can see it on display. I mean, to lose an NBA player, not really skip a beat in terms of your interior offense really shows that. For Madagascar, that's going to be the challenge, right? They really only have 2 legitimate bigs. So Anthony Nelson doing his best when he comes in the game, but they're definitely playing at their best when Citraka can be paired with Lovasoa there. So some foul trouble, giving them issues, taking Citraka off the court. Let's see how they do in this third quarter, see if they can stay out of foul trouble.
We are just under 2.5 from getting things back underway here in the second half. And fans watching live, wherever you may be, if you love the FIBA AfroBasket and international hoops as a whole, make sure you follow the AfroBasket on all social media platforms at AfroBasket on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Follow the AfroBasket and catch up with the best news, highlights, and the best content that will matter to you most. I just wonder, Coach, what kind of defensive changes could we potentially see from Madagascar in the second half? Do you anticipate any, or will it stay the same in your mind?
I think they've done a nice job. They just got a little undisciplined there in the last 2 minutes. That kind of bit them there at the end. Obviously they give up a ton of size. Haven't seen zone from them. Maybe that's something that they could, sprinkle in. But I think in general they've been solid. They just have to be disciplined with the fouls. They got to understand that that's really been the biggest area that's hurt them. Make Cameroon beat them from the perimeter. So Cameroon's struggling from 3 right now. I think if you're going to go down, that's got to be the way it happens.
Right now, we start on the defensive end. We're switching everything just like we saw film. We're going to communicate. Big, if you can stay low, guard, you can switch high. Let's do that. But we have to communicate. We have to be on point for our communication. First play, we go here, all right? Sami with the ball. That's fine. That's fine. Jeremiah with the ball. Fab is here. Pick. Fab, come. All right? Get the ball. We want to look the ball to him. We want to get the ball to Naras here to score. If he's not open, we're not forcing it. All right? You dribble it. So, Paul, you go corner. All right? We dribble up back here. All right? Now.
Coach Alfred Aboya, of course, wanting the, more of a response from his players. Let's see if we can hear what the coach of Madagascar, Wasso fans. Well, Basel fans, apologies. Make sure you scan that QR code and download the Courtside 1891 app, where you can get live streams and extensive highlights of FIBA basketball and catch up on the warm-up games to the 2025 FIBA EuroBasket. Download Courtside 1891 today. Well, he's had a good game so far, the big man. It's very interesting. How do you assess his position? Is he a 4? Is he a 3? Is he a both? Is he a combo? Because he's a very versatile player.
Yeah, he really is. For Trento, I think getting more minutes as a 4-man than a 5-man, but able to fill that position nicely as we've seen so far in this game.
Well, see, Traka's coming out here and having picked up that 3rd personal foul. Now, interesting, the Madagascar players, I'm not sure if they're coming out to shoot around. Not sure if we have a delay or not, but see, Traka, he has got to not pick up that 4th foul here in the 3rd quarter, Coach.
Well, he's got to be disciplined. That 3rd foul was silly, just reaching out, grabbing the roll man, really unnecessary. He's got to know how important he is to this team, find a way to stay on the floor. And that might be a reason to go to a little zone, see if maybe you can protect him a little bit here defensively.
Well, it's going to be Cameroon's ball to begin with. The possession arrow going in their favor. Jeremiah Hill got it by Mamadi. Cameroon leading by 8 points. They want to get a double-digit lead as quick as possible. Naras going right at Citraka. He's got to stay low discipline. Bailly goes in and he gets denied by Lovasoa.
That's a great block there, and Satraka a little lucky. Naras able to get him off his feet here with that pump fake. Probably could have drawn a foul, chose to drop it off, and Lovasoa with the tremendous block there.
3.5 on the shot clock now for Cameroon. Davis in the back pick, finds a block. He's made 1-3 tonight. Fouled in the process. Lovasoa is going to send him to the free throw line for 3 shots.
And that's the discipline that we talked about earlier. So all these young players, they've got to understand here. Obviously, you don't want to foul a jump shooter. Certainly not late in the clock. That was a tough shot for Abois. And obviously also for Lovasoa, you need him on the floor. Can't have him picking up any unnecessary fouls.
We had that discussion. I would guess that indeed now is his 3rd personal foul.
Yeah, well, you see him staying in the game, so I think that's correct. But you know, having both your bigs now, Satraka and Lovasoa with 3 fouls, cannot afford to pick up any more here in this 3rd quarter.
That's now going to be 8th missed free throw of the night here for Cameroon. They do have 2 more coming up here from Abois. Well, Abois, like many of his other teammates for Cameroon, quite a few of them also playing in Italy last season. Of course, ended the season with Trapani Sharks, a team who did qualify for the Basketball Champions League. Oh, missing. They've got to build some identity here in the 3rd quarter. See Traka trying to get a post up. Good defense by Bae. Lovasoa coming high for the ball screen with Mamadi. Long 19-footer. Well, that's good for him.
Well, if you're Cameroon, you're fine with him taking that. Those long 2s off the dribble. Not the best shot there. And definitely not to his strength, but able to knock that one down.
That's going for 3. Big rebound by Hassan, and a foul's going to be picked up by Bae. Well, Mamadi has mentioned he now has 8 points. He's 4 for 7 from the field. Because they only have 1 player in double figures, and that was Chiati with 11 at the end of the 1st half.
Yeah, well, if some of these other guards can get it going like Chiati had, they can be so dangerous. And a really nice box out there from Messina, able to keep Baheye off the rim.
Mamadi finds Asina. Lovasoa, now he made a few of these in the opening game. Big offensive rebound. Satraka goes in, but that's going to remain Madagascar ball. But the officials actually may, well, there may be a change. Yep, looks like it. So it's going to go back to Cameroon.
It's tough to see from this angle. But that trail official right on top of it, so he must have had a clear angle for that play there.
Wow, finding Jeremiah Hill. Nice dive, good recovery there. The switch coming from Hasina.
Yeah, Hasina's done well there to find the deflection.
Well, the last is wide open. Well, Coach, what happened there? Both Chiati and Hasina both ended up chasing. It was actually Hasina defending Nadas.
Well, this is twice. It's just a simple switch, but there's been miscommunication. Cameroon players able to find slips to the basket twice now.
Well, that time there's not a switch. Final seconds. Abois. Remember, well, there it is. There's foul number 4. And that is going to be a huge blow to Madagascar.
Yeah, and he just has to be more disciplined. See him putting 2 hands on the driver there, picking up the 4th foul. You see it here, right there. He's getting both hands. And that is a foul. Good job of Cameroon, though. Really, to run that set, knowing that they were going to get Satraka in a closeout there, and that's a huge call. They're going to have to weather the storm here without him.
And the problem for Madagascar, the other big for them, Lovasoa, he also has 3 fouls. Nadasco's baseline. That's a kick out, finds a Taba. Another foul, and that is another ball one because the shot clock is winding down. And Coach, Madagascar just don't have any discipline. Or was the shot clock off in time?
surprised there. The official with the call on the floor, and I felt that there was still time. I think that would be something they'd have to look at. I don't know how that official would have an angle to know whether or not the whistle came before the shot clock sounded.
Well, you see the response there from Chiatti, but
this is something they should look at. I guess they're asking if he wants a coach's challenge maybe, but I'd be frustrated if I was Coach Aboya there. The official on the floor had the foul, I believe, before that shot clock went over. I don't know if we can get a replay of that to see here, but it looked to me that there was still time on the clock.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to change this. Madagascar will get it back. That's tough. That is very tough. Chance now for Madagascar, down by 7. Madi now trying to put the works on. Finds Chiatti. They don't want to let him shoot the 3. Chiatti penetrates. Hasina, hand his face, he'll fire a 3, and that's way off the mark. And that's going to go back to Cameroon.
Well, Hasina has to hold his spacing, so you see him, he's creeping in from the corner when Chiatti gives him the ball. Now he has to take a back dribble to shoot the 3 instead of having his feet set. He's got to trust Chiatti to find him. I mean, Chiatti's been so good in pick and roll. These other guards just need to give him space, allow him to operate.
Well, Hasina's going to leave the game. It's an interesting change here because he's going to come back into the line. Now, by losing Hasina, you lose a big defensive presence off the ball, but here's case in point. Nadas goes in. And that could have easily been foul number 4 against Lovasoa.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got him on the arm there. That's just much too easy. As you said, right out of the gate, Ellie allowing the drive there. Lovasoa sealed off at the rim. Looked like maybe he got him on the arm.
Chiatti kicks out. Ellie off the bench. He'll fire a 3. That's a big response. Ice cold in the veins.
Well, if he's going to go 3 for 2, then let's let him rock. So, obviously, been shooting the ball really well from 3.
Nice block by Lovasoa. How many times much better? What is he? He's like 212 centimeters. He's a big center, isn't he?
Well, he's really athletic and aggressive. I've loved his play so far in this tournament. Just so active. Definitely in their first game when the game had kind of gotten away from them, he was still really playing hard there at the end. So you love to see it from this young player.
Well, by 8, left wide open. Nadas, big offensive board, still can't finish. Well, 3rd time a charm. And there's Willie. Wow, that's going to be a technical against Nadas. And coach, you can understand their frustration, but look, you're up by 8. You've got to keep your composure.
Well, and honestly, I think the frustration is more with himself than anything else. A couple of easy baskets missed there, but you can see the size of Cameroon and the problems that it presents for Madagascar, especially when Satraka's out of the game. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get through this quarter. You see there, both players missing some bunnies, but it's going to be a challenge for Madagascar. They got to figure out how to rebound, how to defend the interior, giving up so much size to Cameroon. I mentioned before, maybe go to some zone, see if that can change the rhythm a little bit, but it's going to be a struggle with Satraka on the bench right now.
A bit of full court pressure coming with Cho at the top. Lovasoa helping break this one down. 7 points still the gap. Ellie made his last 3. Finds Chiatti. Looking for a gap. Now Ellie wide open. This is what they want. He's open. That's a little too short. So they can't extend this to 10 points, and he does just that. And now Cameroon finding their rhythm from the 3-point line.
Yeah, it's a nice transition there. And Ateba knocking down the big 3.
He's got to be patient. He still has it. Chiatti There's another kick out. Madi in the corner. That's a big response.
Yeah, it's a good shot there from Madi, and that's what we were mentioning earlier about Hasina not holding the corner space, and that time Madi doing a great job staying there and being rewarded.
Finding Kiati on the behind the back. Kiati goes in, unable to convert, but that would have been monumental because that could have been potentially a three-point play, but they'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
That's a good pass ahead there. Kiati getting downhill, drawing the contact, just missing the finish. And you know, again, Madagascar hanging around. Not a lot has gone their way. Obviously, the foul problems for their bigs making things very challenging, but if they can just find a way to stay close right now and get Sadraka back into the game, return with a little bit of size, hopefully stay within striking distance to come back.
Well, that's Kiati's first point of the second half. Remember, he was leading them with 11 points at the end of the first, just behind Jordan Bae. Shooters roll on both of them. Well, this is interesting because now he's going to leave the game, and they've got to give him a little bit of rest somewhere, but you don't have Sadraka, you don't have Kiati, so now everything is probably going to have to go for Mamadi now here for the final, well, I say final, but at least while they're not on the floor.
Well, Kiati's done so much for them. Probably does need a quick breather here, but I don't think they can afford to have him on the bench for long.
5-point lead still to Cameroon. That's going to be a big carry there by Gebetkum. You can see Cameroon fighting for second chances. Joe penetrates. Finds Jeremiah Hill. He's made 1 3. Makes another big one. That's the 4th three-pointer for Cameroon.
That's a great kick out there. Hill ready to receive and deliver, but once again, Cameroon able to keep the possession alive with another offensive rebound.
Oh, Madi going for another one, and now he's stepping up big time. He's got 14. Joint leading scorer for Madagascar with Kiati.
Well, if Madi can get going from 3, that's when he's at his most dangerous. He's so tough to contain off the dribble.
Hill finds it, Yaga. Again, it's just that easy.
A little too easy there. Nice job of Hill getting downhill and finding the delivery.
7 points. Saruja demanding that high ball screen. Going to his left. Still has the ball in his hands. Madi thinks about it. Oh, a bit of forced contact. Not a good offense there for Madagascar.
Yeah, not a great possession. I think they've got to allow Madi to be the primary ball handler.
And Joe just goes coast to coast and now forces Madagascar to call timeout. Coach, nobody stopped him in transition. He just went in the lane and put on a bit of showtime again.
Well, Show again putting on a show with the finish, but it started with the offense for Madagascar. So Madi having to force a shot there at the end of the shot clock. Players not in position to get back in transition D. And let's see what coach has to say here.
Correctement, de bons écrans, on donne les ballons, on pose les pics, on ouvre. Jouer ensemble.
C'est des vrais écrans. Son joueur, il n'est pas touché quand tu poses l'écran, il faut switch.
Derrière, dès qu'on pose,
si tu joues sur un contrat, fixe-le, crée une vraie aide.
Si ça passe dessous, on repose, mais après on flash. Si ça suit, on pose et on flash derrière. Ok? Jouez ensemble, les mecs. Apportez-vous des solutions ensemble. Ok? On a ce qu'il faut au niveau du jeu. Que ce soit avec 4, que ce soit 3, 2. L'important, c'est pas tant 2, 3 ou 4. Sauf certaines opportunités, c'est qu'on fasse bien les mouvements ensemble pour donner des bons ballons, s'écarter et jouer collectivement, les gars. Ok? Allez, les gars, on reste au sujet.
Well, fans, you just saw the QR code there in the bottom left corner. Make sure you download the official FIBA AfroBasket app on your smartphone, tablet, or Android. The FIBA AfroBasket app where you can get the best news, highlights, and content that matters to you most. FIBA AfroBasket app, download it today. Oh, here's Williams Nadas. And that could go, that's close. And that's where he's obviously a very young player. You mentioned 21 years of age, junior college player, but he cannot pick up a fourth foul now.
Well, Naras, such a handful there around the rim, but yeah, absolutely. Lovasoa coming close to a foul. And you heard Coach Duaglian Madagascar, asking his players to play together. Jouer ensemble, play together. So not happy with that last possession.
A nice turnaround. Now, we saw him do this in the opening game. He does have that high release, standing at 210 centimeters, but that mid-range can be very good from Lovasoa.
Well, that was a tough shot there, the mid-range turnaround.
Jeremiah Hill's hit 2 threes. Not going to get this one. Madagascar, this time coming up with the rebound. Remember, Cameroon's only got 1 foul to give. We want to get Mamadi going. He's got 14. Pulls up for 15. That's a little too short. But it's going to remain Madagascar ball. Cameroon failing to secure the rebound.
You can see here the tough turnaround jump shot from the young fella. The coach is loving it.
Austin Rassilon-Jatsovo subbing in. They got to get the ball inbound. Mamadi. Now would be the time for him to create something with this pick and roll with Anthony. Now they have the switch. Hesitation. He stepped out of bounds. Right idea, but unfortunately a turnover for Madagascar. Good defense from Cameroon.
Yeah, Brija, not really an interior driver. Hard at that size to see over those trees.
Yaga looking to give this one to Jeremiah Hill. There's a penetration by Hill. Oh, nice interception now. Madagascar can run. Madi wants to go to defense. It's a little too strong, but the tip-in is good by Lovasoa, and it's back to a 5-point deficit.
Well, that's a great follow from Lovasoa. Good job of Madi getting downhill in transition. I think he's going to have to try to force that a little bit more. See if he can get into the paint. He can kick it out if he draws defenders, but not settle for these mid-range pull-ups.
Well, that's only going to be the 3rd team foul. Coach, if you saw from that transition play, that's the first time tonight Madagascar's been able to convert a turnover from Cameroon into transition points. So that's a huge positive. Now, Kiati's coming back in. Mamadi's going to take a breather.
Well, I didn't think Kiati would be out for long. They really can't afford to have these guys sit. Just trying to weather the storm now with Satraka on the bench with 4 fouls.
Joe trying to make the most, and there's another foul. And you know why that's a poor one to give away? You can see Kiati saying to Anthony why. It's their final team foul, but it's sending them to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's the discipline where they have to grow as a team. Some of the experience that they're lacking showing up there. The 21 free throws in the first half. Really biting them. I thought they did a decent job so far of being better disciplined in this quarter, but obviously not a good foul there.
Tom and I show missing the first free throw. Missed them both. Maybe not a bad foul after all. 5-point deficit. Madagascar, as you said, Coach, just not going away. Well, there's a kick out. Anthony had a look. Finds Kiati. Final seconds. Has to think about it. Has to pull up. He's fouled. And he'll go to the charity stripe for 3 free shots. Baye cannot believe it, Coach.
Baye obviously upset there. It looked like he had hands maybe on the body as he was rising up.
Let's have a look here. Tough to see from that angle.
That looks like a tough call to me. You can see his frustration there. Didn't see much. Certainly didn't have anything on the arm. Maybe a little bit on the body before he went to rise up. But a good break here for Madagascar.
Well, like Satraka actually last season was playing for Alain Bonnet in the city of Pau. It wasn't very much a big factor for them. Only 5 points per game, but you can definitely see the lethal quickness that he has. And I made the comparison to Paul Stoll. There's another player who, his game reminds me of Jason Castro from the Philippines.
Yeah, actually, that's
the quickness, the high elevation on his mid-range.
That's another good name you're putting up there. Obviously, those are 2 heralded players who have had many big games for their national team. So I'm sure Kiati trying to follow in their footsteps so far, having a tremendous game here today.
Well, Gotti cuts it down to 2 points. Cameroon probably should have ran away with this game quite a while ago. It's now run to 2 minutes. The impressive thing for Madagascar, they've done it without Sitraka. Almost turning it over. Quebec pulls up. Bit of contact, no foul called. And now Madagascar can tie it up. Maybe take the lead with a three-pointer. It's now run to 90 seconds. And there's another foul, and that's going to be more free throws for Chiati. Because those two, their teams would have gone up against each other in the second division of French basketball last season.
Well, it's a really smart play there from Chiati, understanding the foul situation, able to sweep through and draw the foul from Beckham. And he's done such a great job here leading his team with Sitraka on the bench with 4 fouls. So, smart move to get the ball in his hands. I think at this stage, you're just going to let him play out of pick and roll, let him make decisions. And Madagascar, with a chance to take the lead here.
Well, he's hit his last 5 free throws here in the third quarter. Well, turning it over, and now they can. Well, like a suspect of a potential double, maybe triple dribble.
Yeah, he might have got away with one there.
Trying to go quickly. Cameroon have numbers. Hill's going to go himself. Wraparound layup and extending their lead back to 2 points. As now we're under a minute to go here in the third.
Well, this is the discipline. We saw this at the end of the second quarter as well. They got to understand Chiati has been their guy. Make sure that the ball ends up in his hands. Let him be the decision maker right now.
And another unnecessary foul. And where Cameroon were having the advantage in the second quarter, this has now been flipped around. It's actually Madagascar that's continuously going to the free throw line and frustrating Cameroon.
Well, they've been smart about how they're drawing them. So understanding that Cameroon's in the bonus, figuring out how to draw contact, get these easy points.
Well, you got to make them count. You have to make them count at this stage. First one good for Regia. Is everything becoming emotional now for Cameroon? A mental battle. Regia gets the second one. And again, we're on level. This could be a 2-for-1. Jeremiah Hill trying to push the tempo of Mute. Mute kicks out. Naras, he'll fire a 3 in the corner. That's big time. Huge three-pointer by the man heading to Jadia Dijon.
Well, that's a huge kick out there. And Madagascar, a little bit of a mistake. They should have let a little more time go off that clock before inbounding. Cameroon might have a chance here at a 2-for-1 as a result of that.
Pretty cool there. 6 seconds difference. Chiati, teardrop, can't finish. And without Lovasoa and without Sitraka, no offensive rebounds coming. Hill kicks out. Now they have time here. We just got to shoot it. Went for the pump fake, and that's not going to go. But Cameroon heading into the final 10 minutes, trying to remain undefeated here in Group B of the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. But Coach, Madagascar, they just don't know when to quit.
Well, they really don't. You see here, great kick out from Mute finding Naras in the corner, but that's really been the story. I mean, every time you think they're down and out, they just claw their way, keeping this close. I mean, to chip away at the lead with Sitraka having 4 fouls, I think is really big.
Well, I think one area that's going to really haunt Cameroon if they do lose this game, we're heading into the fourth quarter, Coach, and they've missed 11 free throws. They're 15 out of 26. And, a lot of times they would go into the free throw line in the first half, and they should have converted those. While Madagascar, well, they're 14 out of 16. That's what's got them back into this game here in the third.
And the free throw line definitely is going to be important here down the stretch.
Now here's a question. You saw the 5 on the floor. Do you start that 5 here at the beginning of the fourth quarter, or do you go straight with your best 5 knowing that Sitraka has 4 fouls?
Well, I think Sitraka's been sitting for a long time, so I'd try to steal 2 or 3 minutes with him here at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and maybe give him a little rest and then bring him back in to finish. You don't want him to get so cold and out of rhythm from sitting such a long time.
So there's a 3-pointer by Ateba. And Jeremiah Hill going coast to coast and finishing with the wraparound layup. But it was a 3-pointer by Williams Naras that has given Cameroon this 3-point cushion. Just, Madagascar, they did have the opportunity to take the lead. Unfortunately, also Rasselon Jetovo unable to finish that. There was a 3-pointer. It was a nice dish off the penetration by Mute, finding the wide open Naras. And now we head into his final 10 minutes. Well, basketball fans, indeed, if you're a fan of international hoops, use that QR code, scan it, and download Courtside 1891 so that you can watch FIBA live streams and extended highlights, and also the warm-up games to the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Courtside 1891. Download it today. It looks like they're going to go with the same 5 indeed that ended the third quarter, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be the Chiati show here a little bit. They're hoping he can carry them through the first couple minutes of this quarter before they can start getting some of these other guys back in.
Down by 3. We level things up thanks to this man. Chiati penetrates, kicks out. One pass and reach, but wide. Final seconds. Rija goes in, puts him a prayer. The follow-up is there, no good. And again, without Citraka, without Lovasoa, second chance points will be gold dust for Madagascar.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Chiati with a great kick out there. And, just not ready to shoot.
Chance for Cameroon to build here on a 2-possession lead. There's another 3. It's up, no good. Pulling in the hands of Rija. Finding Chiati. Chiati goes in. He finishes in transition. Well, he's playing like Superman at the moment, Coach.
Oh, that's a great finish there, but Rija with a great kick ahead. Good awareness to know that he had Chiati up ahead.
Beckham hesitates. Tries a little float. That's cool, calm, and composed by the Antibes Sharks backcourt player.
A nice little floater there from Beckham.
Well, this might be the most exciting game we've had so far here at the AfroBasket, at least here in Luanda. There's been some great games in Namib. But the positive sign here for Madagascar. 3 of their star players are on the bench. Rija, just a little shake and bake. Offensive rebound, second. I said gold dust. I might need to be quiet now, Coach.
Well, that's a great offensive rebound there from Anthony Nelson. And again, Madagascar just trying to steal minutes here before they can get their big 3 back in the game.
I was just about to say, I looked over right in front of us on the other side. The big 3 for Madagascar, getting ready to come back. There's a foul by Rija. That's going to be the first team foul here in the fourth quarter for either of these two teams. And you got to think, Coach, what a very brave decision to keep some of his star players off and to allow some of these rotation players to build confidence. That's offensive rebound, the putback by Anthony. That's huge, because going into the last game, whether they win this or lose this, they will take a lot of confidence going up against Tunisia, because that could be the game that decides who goes to the play-ins, the round of 16, to get to the quarterfinals.
Well, credit their bench. I mean, these guys have come in a really high-pressure situation and delivered.
Madagascar forcing a turnover. Now looking to take the lead, down by 1. Chiati, 3, it's up. Doesn't get it, but they get an offensive rebound. He's got 21 tonight. He's feeling confidence. Shaking, baking, bumping. Kicks out to Rija, but it's going to be a turnover.
Yeah, that's tough. You can see Chiati raising his hands probably a little too much, especially now that he's got some additional firepower with him. He had to carry so much of the load with the bench. I think right now, maybe catch his breath a little bit, let Madi handle up top, see if they can get Citraka going a little bit.
It's going to be a big moment now. Cameroon only leading by 1. They had a double-digit lead. But Madagascar collectively found a way back. Ateba going for a 3. And Ellie happy to let that one go out of bounds.
Yeah, I think a little too aggressive there. I know Ateba's a catch-and-shoot guy, but that was a highly contested 3. I'd like to see Cameroon put a little more pressure at the rim.
Denies the screen, goes in, bumps. He'll go to the free throw line. Mamadi, well, he's gone down. think that's not too much of a concern. Teo as well. Looks like he's going to be okay. So both players back up on the ground.
Well, Mute coming down on Madi at the end there, but you know, credit Madi, saw a gap there, attacked it right away. Good job of going to the rim strong.
And actually, that's a great defensive play. I think you just mentioned that by Mute because, you know, he got a fingertip to that because the foul I don't think was on him, but he prevented that from being a potential M1. So Tebe going to the bench. Madi at the free throw line. Big moment now here for Madagascar. Again, 15 out of 17 from the free throw line. He has 15 points himself. These are his first free throws tonight. 6 for 12 from the field tonight here for Madagascar. Now he's got 16. Now Madagascar have the lead.
Well, the 20-year-old delivering in clutch moments here.
Oh, there's Jeremiah Hill. There's a kick out. Quebekum hesitates. Finds Mute. He'll pump fake. And again, good defensive recovery by Lovasoa.
Well, that is great rotation there from Madagascar. Multiple efforts from Madi. Closed out twice, not just in the wing, was able to get to the corner. Make Mute put it on the deck.
And another unnecessary foul by Quebekum. Oh, losing that discipline here at Cameroon. They've got to remain composed.
Well, that was a great possession there. Let's see if we see the block, but you see Madi with the effort and Lovasoa rotating over the rim protection.
Madi, bit of contact, goes in. But great work by Nadas. Left Mute uncontested, wide open. The three's just not dropping. Now Madi wants to run a transition. Goes right at Jeremiah Hill. Mute unable to finish. Lovasoa offensive board, still can't get it. With the turnaround jump hook. Mute may have just got away with a bit of a push there against Lovasoa.
Well, Madagascar, I'm sure disappointed. Need to be a little bit better there in their execution with the fast break.
Oh, great work by Nadas, but had he maybe have just gone into Citraka, he could have fouled out.
Well, big 4-point swing there. You thought Madagascar had a fast break opportunity. Instead, Naras with the tough finish on the other end.
Got him time, space, another three, it's up. Bang! Big time three! Huge by Chiari.
That is huge. You got to admire his confidence there, taking it.
A nice dime by Hill. Finding by A wide open. A little too short. Now there's foul number 5. Citraka's night is finished. Oh, he doesn't want to say anything anymore. He's just going to have to leave the court.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm sure he's frustrated, but you don't want to give the official an absolute certainty on the call. You know, maybe there's a chance, and you know, another player nearby raises his hand. Can you get a break? And I know he's frustrated, but you know, making it easy. I felt like the official was searching for a number there. Maybe didn't want to give Citraka that 5th foul, but had no choice based on his reaction.
Well, you just couldn't write the drama in this game because, you know, we anticipated with Yves Missy this was always going to be a good challenge here for Cameroon. And when they built a double-digit lead, you felt this is it. They're going to run away with this. Both them and Nigeria, they'll go 2-0. Madagascar, the spirit, the will, the synergy, just the refusal to give up. It's inspiring, Coach.
Well, you really have to tip your hat to them. I mean, such a young roster. A lot of these guys having success at the under-19s, now on the big stage for the first time, and all of them really stepping up. You know, obviously you've got Chiari with the big game, but you know, Madi just 20 years old. Of course, we see Lovasoa here, only 21 years old. I mean, these young players have really delivered.
Well, still time left in this game. And don't get me wrong, Madagascar indeed Cameroon with Nadas. This is where you've got to show that the 5 good years you had at Le Mans and the upcoming great season you're going to have with Jadia Dijon. He's an elite player, but now you got to make the free throws. A little too short. We talked about this, coach. 11 missed free throws at the end of the third quarter. That's one too many for a team as good as Cameroon.
Yeah, they've left a lot of points there. Interesting, Cameroon going small here. They've got Naras at the 4. In some ways, maybe playing into Madagascar's hand. Interior size had been an issue earlier, drawing a lot of fouls, getting a lot of offensive rebounds, but Coach Aboy going with probably a better defensive matchup, probably looking to switch a lot of these ball screens.
Well, they can't make it a two-possession game. You know he's got confidence, 24 points. He'll go for it, hand his face, and maybe just a little too confident, but he had to take that one. Hill goes baseline. Well, had to kick out. Well, I don't think he had to. He can restore the lead for them. The threes don't drop. Cameroon, another offensive board. Hill, pump fakes. He'll fire a three. They just don't go. But still Cameroon getting second chances. I think an offense here, whether they level things or take the lead with Jeremiah Hill. Finally, Madi gets a rebound. Oh, confusion there. Lovasoa comes up with it. Cameroon's got to play it down. Chiadi, well, that goes out of bounds, but that's going to remain Madagascar ball.
Well, that was awfully dangerous. Couple of times you thought Madagascar maybe going to turn it over there in transition. I'm sure they're happy just to catch their breath here. Hopefully come up with a good set here with the shot out of bounds.
This is huge, of course, because they want to go for that two-possession lead. Set some daylight between them and Cameroon. As the take goes in, counted! The Madagascar Superman right now playing for an MVP and for a huge victory for them. It's inspiring, Coach. It's simply inspiring from this man.
He has been incredible. I mean, look at the split there. Hill with the ill-advised foul. You know, Cameroon trying to switch these screens, not really having a lot of success. You know, maybe should think about trapping Chiadi. Make somebody else beat you right now. I mean, he's just on fire.
Well, he can indeed give them a 5-point lead. And he does just that. I mean, he right now has proven to everybody that he's a certified walking bucket.
He's been incredible, especially in pick and roll. Really no answer for him defensively for Cameroon.
27 points. Naras trying to go in the paint. Another turnover. Hasina comes up with it. Still plenty of time, though, for Cameroon. Hasina slowing it down. He's got 27. 7 out of 15 from the field. 10 out of 11 from the free throw line. 3 out of 8 from the three-point line. Penetrates. And that time, unfortunately, indeed, no. It's actually his first turnover of the night. That's incredible.
That is incredible. You know, frustrated with himself. He's able to get by his initial defender. Probably should have looked to score that one.
We'll get back to him. Got it by Madi. Coming off that Spanish pick and roll sequence. Hill pops out. So Jeremiah Hill's got to come big. Bit of contact, but he's unable to get the and one. But that's what they need from him at the moment, Coach.
Well, that was a great head fake there from Hill. Get his defender to leave his feet and find his way to the rim. Smart play there, knowing, you know, see if he can get to the free throw line. Try to get some surefire points here.
Well, maybe that's enough contact by Hasina that, you know, potentially only cuts it down to 3 points, because that foul just did enough to prevent Jeremiah Hill from converting that three-point play. So he makes the first free throw.
Well, and, you know, Chiadi's been so dynamic. But I think you have to be careful that you're not just stalling out your offense, isolating him at the top. Maybe get a little movement first before you get him the ball and pick and roll. And you see Cameroon going to the zone trap here. I like this change-up.
3 minutes. Chiadi was saying to him, stay high or flash middle, but an unforced turnover.
He's got to keep his head.
Well, that's actually going to be the 15th foul. So, oh no, 14th foul, my apologies. Slight difference in foul numbers on what the viewers are seeing, of course, what we have on the scoreboard, but that's the final foul for Madagascar to give away. Cameroon do have one to give, and they're down by 3.
Well, we've seen this before. They haven't been able to close out quarters. They've got to stay disciplined. Young team, so close to an upset here right now.
Well, this can level things up. There's the 3, and Jeremiah Hill's cash money in the corner, leveling things up.
Well, you got to be better there. You know that Hill's going to come off that screen looking for the corner 3. You're just not prepared there.
Well, he looked over at us when he made that 3-point. I don't know if he had a few words for us, but that 5-point lead, and that's going to be a traveling violation. Well, that's a huge defensive play for Cameroon, and that man, oh, clutch. He did this in the last game. Remember, he curled one screen, went for the mid-range. He knows how to lose defenders and take the toughest shots, and that's big time. And even Yves Missy of the New Orleans Pelicans loves it.
Well, they've been running the same underneath out-of-bounds play, so it's just what we call a floppy set. You've got pin downs either side. That's how Mute found the weak side corner 3, or ended up being a long 2. So you know they're coming off these screens looking to shoot. You know, in that case, I think the inbound defender has got to anticipate that, maybe peel off his man and take that corner, but you can't allow Hill to get a clean look there.
Now, Hasina does have 4 fouls, but here's the positive thing for Madagascar. I mean, if they win the game, great. It would be their first win since 2011 in the FIBA AfroBasket. But if they lose it, not the end of the world, because they still have that final game against Tunisia. But if they do win it, of course, they're in great position. But it becomes a bit difficult for us, because then we need to look at points difference and what the final outcome could be. But you couldn't ask for a better ending here in the AfroBasket.
Well, believe me, the only thing they're thinking about right now is winning this game. So, you know, had a 5-point lead just a minute ago. This is where the youth is starting to show up a little bit. We've seen this in this game where they haven't been able to finish quarters. Got to stay disciplined, make sure the right players are getting the ball with an opportunity to deliver.
3 assists away from a double-double. Williams Naras has a double-double with 15 and 8, but some big 3-point points. I mean, he's only 30% tonight. He's hit 3 out of 10, but he has come up with some big plays in his bag to keep them in this game.
The last 5 points, you're seeing the talent on display, and I expect the ball to stay in his hands. Cameroon's going to trust Jeremiah Hill to make the right decisions here.
Remember, Madagascar, no fouls to give. Amadi's got to keep tight here. Hill's going to shake and bake. Has to kick out. Taylor pump fakes, pulls up. That's a 5th foul. Hasina's done. Second play for Madagascar to foul out.
And this is the lack of discipline that we've talked about. These young players just have to keep their head in these moments. They're so close to this upset. And if you're Hasina, you live with the mid-range pull-up. Can't put your hands there given the 2 free throws.
Well, Ellie's going to check back in. This is a big defensive loss now for Madagascar. Jeremiah Hill, only the last player to make both his free throws at the charity stripe for Cameroon. Williams Naras missed his last 2. So Taba's got to be able to knock these down. 14 missed free throws tonight for Cameroon, coach.
Well, if they lose this game, that's going to be the first area that Coach Aboya is going to highlight.
Well, he makes this one. 1-point lead to Cameroon. And the Cameroon's got 1 foul to give. They don't want to waste this. Now, we see the zone defense here. Is it 1-3-1?
Yeah, they're in a 1-3-1. Nice changeup here. You can see Madagascar not really organized for this right now.
Kiani looks to attack. There's a mid-range. That will give him the lead. Well, not going to go. Maybe a good change from Cameroon.
Oh, it's a great change up there. And, you know, again, you just got to know down the stretch who it is that you want taking these shots.
Well, Jeremiah Hill time. There's the reach. There's the take. Goes in. Another foul. And he'll go to the charity stripe. 1:35 left.
That's where you see the difference in that experience. Jeremiah Hill is going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to make the decisions for this team down the stretch. And on the other end, Sola Drainey taking the mid-range shots, really not what you want to see in those moments. You know, keep the ball in Madi or Kiadi's hand. Live with the decisions that they make.
Incredible. 15 missed free throws from Cameroon. It's almost like it's too much anxiety to close this game out.
Well, they're keeping it interesting. You know, again, every time we think Madagascar is going to lose control of this game, just able to hang on, keep it close.
So surely this timeout is going to be called by Coach Dualin to probably try to figure out some way to attack this 1-3-1 matchup.
Well, it's going to be interesting here. They went to the 1-3-1 after some full court pressure. I'd expect Coach to advance the ball here, but let's see if Coach Aboya comes back out with the 1-3-1. If they do, does Coach Doglin have that set ready? You know, you got to make sure. Obviously, Kiadi would be the player you want to see get some kind of open look right now.
Well, what an exciting game we've had. As you can see, 12 turnovers for Madagascar, 8 assists, 3 blocks in total as a team. Only 11 turnovers here for Cameroon, but the issue for them is they just haven't had the consistency from the perimeter.
Well, not just from 3, but the free throw line's been a struggle. You know, I think it's going to be Jeremiah Hill from here to the end of this game. So let's see if he can deliver for Cameroon. But right now, a really big set play for Madagascar coming out of this timeout.
Well, big moment indeed. Of course, Jeremiah Hill, the player who's really done a monumental job of not only keeping them in this game, but giving them this slight advantage. Big performance, double-double tonight for Jadia Dijon player Williams Naras. But here's the moment now where the youth need to make that jump from young players to men's basketball players. That's what they're here for. They've had every right to qualify. That big win against Egypt in the qualifiers for Madagascar.
Interesting, they didn't advance the ball. Losing valuable time on the clock here.
Well, there's a 3 that would give them the lead. Battling for second chances. Probably not the shot they wanted.
Stay disciplined here. You got to make sure you don't foul. You know Hill's going to want to take the shot. Maybe you have a trap ready for that, but definitely can't put them on the free throw line here.
Madagascar need a stop. Cameroon need a bucket, and they turn it over. They go quickly. Probably want to keep this one composed. You want the ball in the hands of either Kiadi or Amadi. Amadi got it by Naras. There's a penetration. Puts up the lob. It's just out of control. Still time between game and shot clock. No need to foul here.
Gotta stay disciplined. Not the shot you wanted from the youngster there, forcing that. Again, you know Hill's going to look to score. They're going to run a body, maybe trap this pick and roll.
Well, there's Hill. There's the alley-oop, and he finishes. Jeremiah Hill with the clutch. Madi kicks out. Got to go quickly. Kiadi penetrates. Pulls up with the fadeaway. Now cutting it down to 2. And you want to foul quick. There's the foul.
Important basket there just to keep them alive, but what a finish from Hill. I think he thought he was fouled, just kind of throwing it up there. As you see here, definitely some contact, but that is a great finish.
And Madagascar took that 5-point lead. He went to the free throw line, cut it down to 3, and then he made that 3 in the corner and leveled things up. And well, it has been the Jeremiah Hill show. And wow, 16 missed free throws, Coach.
Well, now if you're Cameroon, you have a decision to make here. So if he makes this free throw, you're up 3. Are you going to take a foul? Make sure that Madagascar doesn't get a chance to hit a 3 and send this to overtime.
Second one good. You want to find Kiadi. They get it inbound. Ellie's got to go quick. Not quite sure what happened there, but in the end, Cameroon remain undefeated here in the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. And what I find amazing about that last play, Coach, Kiadi was nowhere to be seen. He didn't go to the ball. He didn't try to get open.
Well, again, display. Solandrini inexplicably standing about 12 feet. So had he been behind the three-point line, at least there's an opportunity to tie the game there. Cameroon deciding not to foul in that situation. But you got to tip your hat to Madagascar. So competitive throughout this game.
Well, the Cameroonian fans, they will indeed celebrate this one. They have loved the occasion. It's been quite a test for them, no doubt about it. But indeed, it's not over for Madagascar. It's not over for Tunisia. Those two teams will indeed meet in 2 days' time. And the winner of that game, well, coach, if they book their return flights, they may have to rebook them and just delay, because the winner of that game would end up going to the round of 16, the play-ins for the quarterfinals. But Jeremiah Hill, big-time player for a big-time occasion. He really dug deep, and I would say he is the reason they won this game in the end.
Well, no question. He went on a personal 8-0 run. So Cameroon finishing the game out, 10-2 run there over the last 2 minutes. 8 of those points coming from Jeremiah Hill. And that's the difference. You see the experience on display there. So Madagascar really having a great chance of finishing the game out, but so many young mistakes there down the stretch. Whereas Cameroon can just put the ball in the hands of Jeremiah Hill, trust that he's going to make the right decisions down the stretch.
And there was that moment when indeed they were down by 2 points, and there was possession after possession. Madagascar got it back. 27 points at that time. When did we see the ball go in the hands of Kiati? He was your go-to player at that time.
Well, I'm sure Kiati probably exhausted at that point in the game, but you're absolutely right. They've got to figure out, how to get the ball in the hands of their best player in that moment. So, score 75-70. I think about 3 minutes left in the game, and we didn't see Kiati get a shot off for the rest of the game. So, I think when Madagascar goes to the film, there's going to be some disappointment there. The challenge now, being able to regroup from this tough loss. Obviously there's going to be a huge game coming up against Tunisia, and if they win that game, they move on.
Well, it's going to be a magnificent battle when Cameroon go up against Nigeria. The winner of that game will indeed top Group B, and as mentioned, will be also exciting between both Tunisia and Madagascar. The winner will make it to the play-in round of 16, but I would say so far this was the most competitive, most exciting game we've had so far here in Luanda.
No question. Really exciting game, and credit to Madagascar. This young team just would not give up. Stayed competitive throughout. You see Lovasoa there with the big block, but so many of these young players coming up with big moments throughout this game.
Well, here was a huge three-pointer. Just kind of gave them that 2-point cushion. Then he had the and one just moments later. He had a lot of confidence tonight. And Lampone, where he was playing last season in the second division of professional basketball in France, his teammate indeed was tracking, but that curl screen, the way he moved to get open, that's like Reggie Miller in a Cameroonian jersey, coach.
Well, that's a big shot there, but again, I think if you're Madagascar, you got to have a little better awareness versus that set. Hill's going to try to come off looking to shoot that.
Well, definitely a big play, but this was it. The kiss off the backboard that gave them the momentum. The Jeremiah Hill show in the end. Well, fans, what an exciting game day it's been here in Angola for the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. We started things with a big victory with Nigeria against the two-time defending champions Tunisia, while Congo DR winning against Rwanda. We saw the victory here for Cameroon. One final game left. Cape Verde taking on Cote d'Ivoire. Well, from myself, Josh Bed, and the 2015 FIBA AfroBasket champion head coach of Nigeria at the time, Coach Will Voigt, for us from now, it's good night, bon notte, and bon nuit. We'll see you tomorrow for more games here in the AfroBasket.